Number 1. Your brain gets a chemical fireworks show. Imagine your brain throwing the most dramatic farewell party of all time, and not even inviting your body. That's what happens in the final seconds before death. Just as everything is about to shut down, your brain decides, you know what? Let's do a full-blown chemical rave. It releases a cocktail of neurochemicals, including a flood of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, which, to be clear, is the feel-good squad. You're flatlining, and your brain's like, here, have some euphoria. Why? Because your brain, always a sucker for melodrama, seems to go out with a bang, or at least a blissed-out whimper. Some scientists think this chemical surge explains why people near death often report seeing tunnels of light, hearing music, or feeling like they're floating. Basically, your brain is having one last psychedelic trip while your heart throws in the towel. This isn't just poetic, it's evolutionary. These chemicals might ease pain and fear, acting as a built-in anesthesia for the end. Or maybe it's your brain's version of denial. Everything's fine, nothing's collapsing. Look, puppies and stardust. So if you're ever wondering whether your final moments will suck, well, science says your brain might just sedate you into cosmic wonderland, while the rest of you turns into a meat popsicle. Number 2. Time gets weird. Okay, so your brain is seconds from shutting down. And what does it do? It messes with your perception of time. Not in the, oh no, the Zoom meeting's still going kind of way, more like, is this 3 seconds or 3 years? Near-death experiences often involve a bizarre sense of time dilation. People report their entire lives flashing before their eyes. But how does that even work in 2 seconds? Simple. Your brain turns into an over-caffeinated editor, fast-forwarding through your mental scrapbook like it's auditioning for a montage scene in a drama movie. One theory is that the brain goes into overdrive, trying to find relevant memories, scan for meaning, or process the what-just-happened panic. The temporal lobe, your brain's version of a time manager with ADHD, gets hyperactive. Suddenly, moments stretch, memories loop, and you get a highlight reel of your most awkward school dances, bad dates, and maybe a couple of sweet moments with your dog. In other words, it's your brain binge-watching your life on 10x speed while the credits roll. Number 3. You might hear everything. Here's something creepy. You might still hear after your heart stops. Your brain doesn't just punch out right away. In fact, hearing is often the last sense to go. That means you could technically hear people saying goodbye, crying, or worse, debating who gets your iPad. There's actual research backing this up. In one study of hospice patients, EEG monitors picked up brain activity even after clinical death. The auditory cortex, the bit responsible for hearing, can stay online briefly, like a stubborn Spotify app refusing to close. So, yes, while your brain's fading into the abyss, it might still be eavesdropping on your relatives arguing over your will. The last thing you hear might not be angelic choirs. It might be, who gets the dog? Touching? Maybe. Mortifying? Absolutely. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It means a lot to me. Number 4. Reality gets glitchy. Your final moments could look like a collaboration between Salvador Dali and a malfunctioning VR headset. That's because as oxygen levels drop, your brain starts hallucinating hard. Think tunnels of light, shadowy figures, or your childhood hamster telling you it forgives you for the accidental bath. These aren't spiritual revelations. They're your visual cortex gasping for air and your brain's filters breaking down like a dollar store colander. Without oxygen, neurons start misfiring, and perception loses all chill. Visual and auditory information gets scrambled, and your brain starts making up reality like a sleep-deprived fiction writer on a deadline. This is why people often report seeing loved ones, religious icons, or feeling like they're floating above their own body. Basically, your brain stops trying to make sense of the world and just starts freestyling. Your body may be shutting down, but your imagination? That sucker is putting on its biggest, weirdest performance ever. Number 5. The life flash might be a memory dump. You've heard it a million times in movies. My whole life flashed before my eyes. And as cliché as it sounds, it might be semi-accurate. But don't expect a well-curated highlight reel with emotional background music. Your brain's not that sentimental. It's more like a chaotic, unsorted memory dump, and it might not even be your greatest hits. See, the areas responsible for memory, like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, go into overdrive as oxygen drops. And instead of gently reminding you of your first love, or that time you graduated, they might just barf out whatever's available, including the time you called your teacher mom, or the exact number of ceiling tiles in your 5th grade math class. This flood of memory could be your brain desperately trying to stay anchored to reality. Or maybe it's just cleaning house, rapidly compressing everything before the lights go out. Either way, it's not elegant. It's not spiritual. It's not a TED Talk about meaning. It's mental confetti being thrown at your skull one last time. So yes, your life might flash before your eyes. But it'll probably be a weird slideshow of birthday cakes, public embarrassments, and that one song you can't stand but somehow know every lyric to. Number 6. Your brain might still be conscious after death. Here's the part where it gets spooky. According to some studies, your brain may remain conscious for up to several minutes after your heart stops. That's right. You might know you're dead before you're officially declared dead. This isn't a horror movie plot. In a study of cardiac arrest survivors, a few reported detailed awareness after they were technically dead. No heartbeat, no breathing. But somehow still conscious. One person even described the actions of medical staff around them with eerie accuracy. What's happening here? Possibly a delay in neural shutdown. Even though blood flow has stopped, brain cells don't instantly turn off. Some hang on like awkward party guests refusing to leave, still firing signals in a low-power last stand mode. Your frontal lobe, the part that handles self-awareness, might be running on fumes, but it's still trying to piece together what's going on. So for a terrifying moment, you might be both dead and aware of it. It's basically the worst customer service hold of all time. Thank you for dying. Your consciousness will be terminated shortly. Please remain in the void. Number 7. DMT might join the party. If your brain really wants to go out with flair, it might unleash its secret stash of DMT. That's dimethyltryptamine, a hallucinogen so intense it makes a lava lamp look like a spreadsheet. DMT is naturally produced in the brain, particularly in the pineal gland, aka your inner chaos crystal, and some researchers believe it floods your system right before death. The result? Trippy visions, out-of-body experiences, and maybe the feeling that you've merged with the universe, your houseplant, and a goat in Peru, all at once. People who've used synthetic DMT report experiences eerily similar to near-death accounts. Blinding light, floating sensations, and weird encounters with beings made of fractals. It's basically your brain going full sci-fi acid trip, possibly to cushion the existential fall. Think of it as your body's emergency exit slide, but instead of sliding into safety, you're sliding into a kaleidoscope run by sentient geometry. So if your last thought is, wait, am I in space? Blame the neuropharmacy upstairs. Number 8. Your brain tries to keep the lights on. Even in death, your brain's kind of a control freak. While the rest of your body is calling it quits, your brain is frantically trying to keep you alive, sending out distress signals, activating emergency backups, and basically slamming every panic button it can find. In the final seconds, your brain stem, the primal lizard brain part, kicks into overdrive. Heart slowing down? Send more adrenaline. Oxygen dropping, trigger gasping, vision fading, flood with every last drop of glucose and hope. It's like watching the captain of a sinking ship try to duct tape the hull mid-submersion. And sure, it's noble, but it's also pure chaos. One study in rats found that brain activity actually spikes right after cardiac arrest, not declines. Spikes. Their brains lit up like a Christmas tree, possibly as part of a last-ditch attempt to reboot the system. Basically, everything's fine, let's just restart life real quick. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. But it's kind of beautiful in a frantic, desperate way. Your brain doesn't just roll over and die, it fights, it improvises. It says, no, we are not ending like this, even as your organs are halfway out the door. That's either inspiring or deeply tragic, depending on how much faith you put in duct tape. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.